Blog Talk Radio.
The purple angel, oh purple angel, you're next to me. Purple angel, oh purple angel, you're next to me. You're next to me. You're next to me.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer Speaks Radio. I'm your host and founder of Alzheimer Speaks, Lori LeBay. For those of you that are new to our show and Alzheimer Speaks as a whole, basically we are an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to shift our dementia care culture from crisis to comfort around the world. We truly believe that by joining forces and sharing knowledge and just having these everyday conversations like we have here on Alzheimer Speaks Radio, that we're going to be able to remove the stigmas and the myths attached to dementia and memory loss and help those not only diagnosed with the disease, but those caring for them as well. We need to pull back as a community and live in unity, understanding what the needs of individuals with dementia are and those who are partnering with them. At our core, we truly believe that working collaboratively together, we can win this battle against this disease. And I know it's working because we were honored to be recognized as the #1 influencer online regarding Alzheimer's, according to ShareCare, which is the largest health and wellness website in the world, and Dr. Oz. And we didn't do that alone. You all played a big part in that. Your likes, your clicks, your shares make a difference. So if you're listening online right now, I would love it if you would like our page on Alzheimer Speaks Radio, and also click on to Alzheimer Speaks, our website. Like us there. From there you can get to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Be part of our social media, because the more we share with one another and our circles and our friends and our colleagues, the easier it's going to be for people to tap into the information when they need it. It doesn't take much time. It doesn't cost any money, but it has a powerful, powerful effect. So I really thank each of you for all of your help and your support with our mission on Alzheimer Speaks. I basically got into this because of my mother's own disease process, which was 30 years. And it changed my life. More than half of my life I've been dealing with somebody with dementia, and there are so many people out there that need help, and we can each make a difference. So today on the show, like we do every Tuesday, we invite you to be part of us, to come and join the conversation. And it's very simple. You can do that in two fashions. You can call in, and the number is 714-364-4757. Again, that's 714-364-4757. Or you can utilize the chat box and join us that way, which we would love to hear what you have to say. On today's show, we have a fabulous guest, one that I think you'll find very intriguing. I know that I have found this man just very interesting, his story, and you'll probably have some additional questions that you'll like to ask. You see, today we are lucky enough to have Mike Good with us, and he is the founder of Together in This, which is an online community that helps family members care for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia. And through short and informative articles and easy-to-read tools, such as the Introductory Guide to Alzheimer's, he helps people take control and gives them some peace of mind, which is just critical when you are dealing with someone with dementia. So, Mike, I want to welcome you to the show. I'm excited to have you on. How are you doing today?
Hi, Lori. I'm doing great, and thank you for having me and all the kind words. Hi to all of our listeners out there. I'm so excited to be here and so happy I found you.
Yeah, well, you're in sunny California. I'm up in cold Minnesota, but it's nothing like out east, so I still can't complain. We can still see some of the grass here, which is very strange for us in February to be able to see grass.
Yeah.
But it's cold.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get maybe an inch today. So, but I would much prefer to be in California. That's one of my favorite spots in the world out there. So I'm a little envious of you.
I agree, and in an ironic way, I'm kind of envious of people that have some snow. we actually, they don't know what winter is here, but we don't. And having grown up in Arkansas for 22 years, I know what snow is all about, and I actually miss the seasons, which I think change is good for the body and the soul. So. I know people might be rolling their eyes at me that are looking outside and have a lot of snow, but in my own way, I'm a little envious.
Yeah. Well, we all want what we don't have, so I think that's probably a pretty normal thing there. Mike, why don't you tell our audience who the heck are you and how did you get into this space with dementia? I just find your story fascinating.
Yeah, well, I'm going to just be honest and say, about 2 years ago, I literally couldn't even spell the word Alzheimer's. I would have misspelled it, and Google would have had to correct it for me. But let me give you the boring facts first. As I mentioned, I grew up in Arkansas, and actually when I went to college, I got an electronics degree in engineering, and so I'm a self-proclaimed technologist. I've had a computer attached to me since the age of 10, so for about 35 years now. And I spent the last 20 years in California, and most of that was up in San Jose, which is called Silicon Valley because of all the high-tech industry there. And I was very involved in high-tech, worked for the defense industry for most of that time. And during that time, I met my wife. And since then, we've moved down to even sunnier San Diego County. And here we just set up residence to just both of us work on our entrepreneurship and enjoy the sunny weather, like you mentioned. And we like to get out and enjoy the outdoors, and we love animals and all. And But let me tell you what that 20 years did for me that I think is important to what I bring for people with Alzheimer's. When I did spend these 20 years, it taught me a lot of skills about how to be a leader and how to help people plan. And as an engineer, I am definitely a very practical, organized, detail-oriented kind of guy. And I like to help people get solutions to their struggles, and I like to teach them on how to do that so they can get out of being in a reactive mode or crisis mode and take back control. And so that's a little background on me. And currently, I'm working on together in this. I'm building that community. While I've learned that I like to volunteer, and I volunteer at some of our local memory care communities, and I also help volunteer for our local Humane Society.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I know that in some of our conversations that we've had, you found that it hasn't been easy to volunteer all the time. Can you share a little bit about that? Because I think that I think there are so many people who do want to volunteer, and I think that that's something as a society we need to, we need to get a better handle on to be able to tap that energy and that help.
Right. Yeah. I truly believe volunteering has helped me discover who I am. It's helped me find more purpose. It's led me to this path of helping. So it's definitely something I highly recommend to people. But what, from a business standpoint or a leader standpoint, what bothers me is that some of the organizations, they don't communicate well with the people that want to volunteer. So the volunteer actually almost has to be the more the proactive person. And that's not just with memory care, but that's with some of the other volunteering areas I've helped with. And I tell people that if you ever run a volunteer organization, you can't expect the volunteer to be coming to you, because it's kind of like working out. Once you start doing it, you get in a routine, you want to keep doing it. But as soon as you stop doing it, it kind of slips away from your life. So if anyone out there is running a volunteer organization, just remember you kind of got to nudge and prod your volunteers.
Yep.
But let me tell you more specifically towards memory care, though. It took me a while to realize this, Lori, and people just didn't know what to make of Mike Good. Why is this guy coming into our community that isn't a caregiver, doesn't have anyone associated in his family with Alzheimer's, but wants to volunteer, and I think they looked at me kind of like the fact that I had an ulterior motive. So that was a little hurdle I had to recognize and overcome.
Well, and I think that that's a sad statement, but true. People have to be very protective, over their clientele and their communities. And there's so much, with scams and fraud and taking advantage of vulnerable adults. But, there's got to be a way to evaluate and not lose good, solid people that truly want to help,
Absolutely.
But it does take work, and organizations need some type of a system and a screening process, and a way to kind of oversee and manage things too. And it would actually be nice to see more money going in to projects to coordinate volunteers, because I think that's why companies poo-poo it a little bit more than not, is that they just don't have the extra time, energy, and staff to be able to man it and manage it, as a whole. Well, Mike, what led you to create Together in this, and maybe start with why you wanted to create something, and then why the name, because it's an interesting name too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mentioned that I was in the high-tech industry for 20 years, and while I enjoyed my job at times, we'll say, I was never really happy. And for some reason in me, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to always run my own business. Even when I graduated college, my intent was to start a home automation company, and that was 25 years ago, but got pulled into a career, and finally about 2 years ago, I decided that, I always hear people say, don't look back and regret, do things now, give back now. So I wanted to be the guy that took those years of wisdom that people were telling me, and I wanted to be that guy that actually did it. So I quit my career in defense and said I'm going to go out and I'm going to help older adults with technology. And not knowing what that meant, I just started off and said I thought I was going to create this big technology company that was going to have employees and it's going to have products, and I was going to change the way our older adults engage with technology and how that technology helps them. And I was going to create this, spend millions of dollars to create a product, and I quickly, I had some early success in helping a couple of older adults in my community, and I started to fall into the trap of thinking I was on the right path. But then it was silence. Nobody wanted to, buy products from me, and I was just selling off the shelf stuff at the time, just to experiment. And but then that's when I realized that my niche was just too broad. That I was making too much of a statement of older adults and technology. But during that time, I'd been driving all over San Diego County for over a year, meeting people, going to caregiver support groups, going to caregiver coalition meetings, just getting involved in the whole healthcare community that I never knew existed. And during that time, I started meeting people that were dealing with this disease called Alzheimer's. And, I'd heard of it, but I was ignorant. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know. But what I did figure out quickly was that it was a very complicated disease. And to be honest, people were telling me when I did a proposal to the National Institute on Aging to help older adults, they were telling me, you got to make it specific to memory problems. And I'm like, no, that's just too complicated, So, and it is. But then, one day I just sitting there and I had the epiphany of, what am I doing? Why can't I help this community that's touching me, touching my heart? And I just admit so many people that were struggling, admit their loved ones with the disease, and I made a decision about a little over a year ago to focus purely on Alzheimer's and other dementias. So.
Well, that is wonderful. How did you come up with the name Together?
Yeah. The name, I'm actually happy that it came to me fairly quick. I quickly realized that this is such a complicated disease that people should not go forward in it alone, that they need to get support and they need to band together to try to be successful, if that's even the proper word to try to use, in their caregiving role. And I wanted to build a community that fosters that togetherness and that relationship, not only from the family caregiver standpoint, but from the professionals too. I want, as and you're doing a great job of it, you bring all of us professionals together with the people that are in the midst of the disease, and it's that togetherness that just struck me, and that's how it came about.
Okay. Well, it's always interesting to hear people's stories on how they get involved, and one question I didn't ask you, Mike, is have you been touched by family or friend with this disease, or?
I have not. My family is heart disease and cancer, so I have never experienced it, but now. So I've never had to care for somebody in that situation, which helps give me an unbiased viewpoint, I think. But I am very touched because I've met, so many caregivers. I shouldn't say snuck into, but I attended caregiver support groups until they realized I wasn't really a caregiver. I mean, the moderator, the mediator knew, but so, I made a lot of friends in those support groups, and I met their loved ones. And then through my volunteering, I've made a lot of friends that have memory impairments. So, I'm touched in those ways. But no family members or close friends.
Okay, because so many of us, fall into this because we've been touched, and so, I think it's really interesting how everybody gets in this space. But once you're in it, it's almost impossible not to be touched by the stories and the lives and the courage and the brilliance of this population. I find it fascinating. every moment, in work.
I was just going to tell you, sorry to interrupt you, but I've probably cried and been hugged more in the last year and a half than I had in the last 20 years, just because of that, and it's that feeling.
Yeah, I get that. Last night I was speaking at a church here, and they have some really cool programs for dementia at Calvary Church in Golden Valley. And there was probably about 100 people there, and people were laughing and crying, and came up to me afterwards, and they're like, and you do just such a fabulous job, and I said, it's not work to me. It doesn't feel like work. I am honored to be in this space, and
right.
And I think with most of us, that's really truly how we feel. It's an honor to be in everybody's presence and to be able to see and interact with people at their most vulnerable states. It's just really beautiful and just such an honor. Like I said, I totally love my job. I can tell that you do too. Why don't we talk, Mike, about what is your vision for Together in this, and what are some of your goals?
Okay, yeah, and I totally agree with what you said there, Lori. I'm doing quote unquote. I have a girlfriend. She's 85 years old at one of the memory facilities, and I hold her hand, and she just loves me to death. And it's those moments and just hearing their stories in the past that really touched me. So I just had to share that because I love her so much. She's probably the one main reason that really helped me to decide to start Together in this. And to answer your story, when I started researching Together in this, I realized how wonderful the internet is for people that need to get information about Alzheimer's, because there's just so much information out there. But at the same time, I also realized what's bad about the internet is there's just so much information out there. It's fragmented, and sure, there's a couple of sites that have a lot of, a couple resources that have a lot of detail and all, but what I see a lot, and I research every day for articles or improving Together in this, and if I struggle to find information on a topic and I'm not in crisis mode, then it makes me wonder how what that caregiver is doing, and they're giving up. So my mission and the vision with Together in this is to create more of a streamlined and easy to navigate website. I believe, these caregivers, they're not handed a training manual, and no one shows up at their door to help. And so if they come Together in this, I really want to empower those unpaid family caregivers to find the resources they need quickly. And a lot of sites, while they have all this information, you go to them, and it's hard to find the answer to the topic that you need answers to right now. Or you go to a site, and a lot of the sites are created by children or adult children such as yourself, and a lot of those sites, and not yours in particular, but the articles are more personal stories. And the caregiver would literally has to sit there and read that article and hope they get a nugget of information out of it. And while those articles and stories have a place, they're not really tactical in telling that caregiver on how to proceed. And so, our vision is to empower them with actionable information. And so I envision them and being able to find those practical answers to their needs. And we're still working on it. I've had to self-train myself also in how to build a website and what it takes to run a website. So I'm almost even falling into that trap of disorganization and not having it be my true vision. But basically, I go out and I research and I extract and refine that information to hopefully help reduce their learning curve.
Mhm. And I agree, because I mean there are some stories that I write that are they're a story. I mean it's actually something that happened. I personally try to have some nuggets within those stories, but and some people are looking for emotional support and just want others to know that those feelings are validated. But many times people just give me the 1, 2, 3 punch here on how to get through this, because time is very, very limited. We do have a caller online here, and I'd like to pull them in. They're on a 216 number. So 216 area code, you are live and on the air. Did you have a question or a comment for us?
Hello, Lori. This is Wayne Mesker. Just calling to check.
Oh, hi, Wayne. How are you doing?
Good. Just listening to the show and hoping to get some more information. I've got a few updates from my end, but we can get to that later if we have time.
Okay. I will pull you in a little later, and we can talk about your rock against dementia there. Okay. Thanks, Wayne. Yep.
Bye.
Wayne was on the show with us a week or so ago, talking about his program, and I thought he might have a question for you because but we can talk about that a little bit later. Your vision, one of the things that I like, Mike, is your website is, it's nice and clean and easy to maneuver, and I think you do a really nice job on your newsletters and so forth too. What kind of feedback have you been getting from people?
Oh yeah, great. It was. Tell you, it's kind of a scary experience because you're putting it out there and you're hoping people like it, and actually the feedback has been very, very encouraging. That's probably been it's definitely one of the highlights right now is. While I haven't reached a lot of the family caregivers yet, I'm getting a lot of professionals and students that are looking at it and telling me that it's inspiring them to do things in their communities with their. For instance, I got an email from a gentleman in the Netherlands the other day or last week, and he's working on their Alzheimer's website, and he's telling me how my website and newsletters have inspired him to follow a similar approach. And then, you mentioned my introductory guide to Alzheimer's earlier. That's something I created to be very, very high level, but action oriented. Go take these steps and start to remove yourself, get yourself out of crisis mode. And I've got a couple of different people from around the world that saying that they want to use it and leverage it to do something that they're creating. So that's very encouraging to me. Now, I get, as you know, with the introductory guide, when you sign up, you become get on a part of the educational process that I have, where I trickle out an educational article about every week, and I get caregivers responding to me and sharing their stories and telling me how some of those articles help them through their day. So that's what it's about, helping those people, and hearing them tell me I'm helping them keeps giving me the strength to keep doing it.
Mhm. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. Now we have Harry Urban on with us too. I'm going to go ahead and pull Harry into the conversation because Harry always has some comments. Harry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm cold. I'm smelly. I'm wondering if I can be not in sunny California. But I have a couple of things for Mike that I'd like to discuss with him. What he is doing out on the West Coast, I am also doing on the East Coast. I'm putting together a a group called United Against Dementia, and it's the same thing. People want to volunteer but don't know how to. There's a lot of care facilities that need to help, but they don't want to reach out for the help. Well, I want to create a service that's free of charge, that we screen the people, and people can come to us that want to volunteer to go into a nursing facility and just hold hands with people, talk to people, things of that sort. Now, my question is, I'm inventing the wheel on the East Coast, and Mike, you're inventing the wheel on the West Coast. Why can't we partner up and come together as a team, and instead of each of us trying to invent the wheel, work together for a common cause?
Absolutely, Harry, because we're together in this, right? So, I mean, to be honest with you, San Diego County, and I'm actually what's called a guardian angel, so they already we have a system set up like that here. So you might want to make sure your county, you probably already have, doesn't have something, but our county, through a memory care facility called Glenner, is already has this process set up. But what I see struggles they have is, even though I've had my TB test and my background check, not a lot of the facilities want you to have all that done over again. Like, they need it done on their books. So that's just one of the hurdles that I don't know if the liabilities are, everybody's just scared of the liability, or if there's really laws in place that say that. But I know I've been sent to a facility and they go, oh, you got to run through all these hoops again. And those hoops sometimes take up to 4 hours to do, which in the big picture is not a lot of time. But Harry, long story short, yes, I'm here to help. I'm here to work with you in any way I can. And I love what you're doing, United Against Dementia. I think that's great. And if I can be part of that, I love to do it.
What I would like to do, what I would like to see, Mike, is people like us that have a technical background. Now, I grew up with technology. I was trained to think logically, but when I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, that kind of went out the window. That's not my world anymore. I can't think logically like I used to. But simple things like video chats, I'm a big proponent of that, because it gives people the opportunity to talk to their loved ones face to face on a video chat program like Skype, Zoom, things like that. But whenever I talk to a group about that, the first thing they say is, well, that's too complicated. Well, it's not complicated. We know that. It's very simple. It's very simple to set up in a care facility and teach anybody's home. And what all they have to do is be able to talk. If they can do that, they can video chat. It's as simple as that. That's the kind of things that I'm pushing here in the East Coast, and it's going to happen. Yeah, it's just one.
You talk about the video chat, Harry, and that, to be honest with you, that was the first premise of the product I was going to design, and I actually own these 22-inch. They're nice, big. They're tablets. So if you took like an iPad tablet that's only 10 inches and you just doubled that in size to 22 inches, I have these tablets, and the idea was I was going to take them into facility communities or into hospice, or and set up for people to video chat with long distance loved ones. And I had this whole marketing, had this whole plan, and I just didn't pull it off.
That's why we started up virtual memory cafes.
Right.
And it's a wonderful concept, Mike, because you can get anywhere from 10, 15, 20 people from all over the world sitting down and just talking amongst themselves.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It not only is bringing the world together, but it's giving everybody, it's making us one big family.
Right. Yeah, it's very intriguing. I saw you doing that, and I was very intrigued by it.
Very neat. I think it's interesting how we can all, work together, and with your tablets, maybe you'll still find a way somehow to get those incorporated and used and stuff. It sounds like a great idea, and a wonderful size to be able to utilize those. You hate to have that technology go to waste.
Right.
Just sitting there. That's kind of got to break your heart a little bit, I would think.
Well, it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's it's one of those things where it would be, to do it right, it's probably going to cost $1 million or more, and then you got to do all that stress of running a company and stuff. So if togetherness is the right path, and I can help people and avoid all that personal stress myself, I'm all for it.
Yep.
But
yep.
I did take. Let me share with you, because I just had I just thought about something. I did take one of these tablets into one of the daycares and adult daycares, and what's nice is, since it's so big, I sat it there on the table, and it's only like half an inch thick. And I pulled up YouTube, and I had about 5 people with various levels of memory impairment sitting around, and we just started pulling up songs from the past, or if someone lived in Texas growing up, I could pull up video of Texas, of their hometown potentially, or so I just started pulling up things, and the conversation amongst them and myself was so much fun. I really got a kick out of doing that, and I should probably try to do that more often. But that tablet really lended itself well to that.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. I know in our memory cafes we've gone onto Google Maps and we've put in people's addresses, and we had one woman who lived over in Scotland, and she just lit up, telling us about her life in Scotland growing up and how she met her husband, and it was really very fun. And it's amazing just to kind of watch that spark of energy just ignite just instantly, and the smiles and the giggles and things. Pretty incredible stuff. Just like if I'll put a plug in for the movie Alive Inside for anybody who hasn't seen that. That's available on Netflix now, and that just shows the power of music and how wonderful that is, and you can just see people light up. And I'm sure that's exactly what it sounds like exactly what you were describing when you use that. And many of us have, phones, or they might have iPods or iPads. All of that technology can be used really simply to create some just wonderful moments with people. And so I encourage people not to overlook, what it is that they have. Norms McNamara is wondering what your thoughts are on GPS locators. Do you have any thoughts on that with your technology background at all?
Well, I was recently personally touched by an event that happened in San Diego County where, unfortunately, a lady was camping with her husband and went for a little walk while he was inside the camper, and unfortunately they didn't find her for 6 weeks, and she had passed away. But she was only found half a mile from the house. And half a mile from the camper. And I listened to your radio show a few weeks back, and became very interested in the RF technology. And I think, GPS has a place. It has several limitations, and I think it puts a lot of the responsibility on the family caregiver themselves. So it's definitely come a long ways. It's more reliable, but as we know, it's still usually fairly costly. And now we're seeing them embedded in shoes. We're seeing them, embedded in different pieces of clothing. I definitely think it has a place, but I also think the RF technology has a big role too. And I'd like to see more of our. Oh, go ahead.
Do you want to tell people, because a lot of listeners might not know what RF stands for?
Sorry. It's radio frequency. It's basically where GPS is more of a it can track you over your entire trip and track the path you went on. RF frequency is more like the person is wearing a device that's transmitting a signal, and somebody walks around with an antenna to pick up that signal and locate you. So it's more of a close-range location system. But as I learned from your guest a couple weeks back, they can also mount those to helicopters and increase the range to up to 7 miles. So if that person was in a gully or a ravine or amidst the trees or even inside a building, that beacon tone that they're emitting could be picked up by these antennas, where GPS needs a direct line of sight to satellites and would possibly be obscured.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now with the radio frequency, because I think people will have this question too. What are your thoughts in terms of, like with GPS, building walls and stuff? My understanding can get in the way. What about radio frequencies? Like if somebody would wander into a big complex, could they still be found within the complex? Well,
you got to think about it like a basic FM radio, if you will. Mm-hmm. It can go through walls, but it can still be blocked. But say, picture your loved one was in a mall, for instance, with all these people and all these stores. GPS wouldn't be able to pick them up. But if somebody was walking through the mall with one of these receiving antennas, then they would definitely be able to find them, and they'd probably be able to find them pretty quick and easy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's more of with the RF technology, it's more of a law enforcement initiative where the family caregiver calls the search and rescue squad, if you will, and or 911, and they send out somebody with these antennas to start locating somebody. But it has to happen in a quick order because the range is limited, whereas GPS can work all around the world. RF needs to be, initially within the first mile or half mile. Don't quote me on those since I'm not the guy.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, not a problem. Well, thank you for answering that question that Norms had posed. And for those of you that don't know Norms, I don't know how you can't know him, but you should know him. Norms McNamara is kind of the big kahuna behind the Purple Angel Project, which is about dementia awareness, and has had so much to do with dementia-friendly communities and really getting individuals and businesses alike working together, and has done just incredible, amazing work that has spread all around the world. If you are looking for information, you can just Google the Purple Angel or go to alzheimersspeaks.com to our About page, and we have a Purple Angel tab there. We are the launch pad for the U.S., but if you are out of the United States, there's also a link there that'll bring you right to Norm's McNamara page. Just an incredible individual that is truly, truly changing the world out there. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about who comes to your website? And the website name is Together in This. Who are the primary people that you want to serve?
Great question. I am focused on the family caregiver, the daughter or the son who's finding themselves thrust into this caregiving role. They want their parent to be safe and happy, but they also want to, protect their own livelihood and have balance in their life. And what I see is that a lot of them, they're afraid, and they carry a lot of fear and a lot of guilt. And so I'm really there to help that family member get from out of crisis mode into more of a success-driven enrichment mode, if you will.
Mhm. Okay.
And to be honest with you, Lori, at least once a month, someone tells me that I need to turn my focus and start just helping communities because that's where the money's at. And and I agree with them. It'd definitely be easier for me to come up with a business plan that focused at the community and got part of their yearly budget and towards me, but that's just not where my passion is. My passion is helping people that live next door to me or that I meet at the grocery store that are struggling. And I'm not gonna chase the sure I want to make money someday and but I'm not going to chase that.
Yeah, well, and I would disagree with that. It sounds like there's a lot of money in that area, but there's not a lot of money anywhere. And a lot of what communities are doing is volunteer based. And I talk to people and visit with people all over the U.S. here, and so I'm glad to hear that you're not in it for the money, because I do think that even though everyone needs to make a buck, if that's our primary focus, then we lose sight, on what really needs to be done. I would also like to see it where, we're all not starving and going paycheck to paycheck doing this either. I don't think that that's necessarily right, but we really have to have the greater good in mind, and I think it's important too. One of the lessons that I learned when I switched careers from, I was a successful real estate agent for 25 years and did quite well. And then I went into this knowing that this is a space I was supposed to be. Didn't make money for years, and people were shocked because I have this big presence out there, but I wasn't focused on the money because I just thought we're too broken to work within the system. I had to change the system and how I saw it function. And that really has been my goal, to bring people together. But it's been interesting because on that journey of not having money, I've really learned, I think, so much in terms of true collaboration and volunteerism and igniting passions and giving people freedom to think outside the box. I'm just amazed at the wonderful ideas and skills and resources that are available that as a society at large we don't tap into because they're not in the box. They're not controlled, and that's one of the things that I love about Norm's Purple Angel is it's really about the broader spectrum of letting everybody do what they can so that they can feel purposeful and they can ignite that passion, and then that fuels others. I mean, it's really, really something to watch. We do have another caller, so let me go ahead and pull them in. We have somebody from a 646 number. 646, you are live and on the air. Did you have a question or a comment?
A comment. Hey, Lori, it's Lisa Hirsch.
Hey, welcome back to the world. You've been visiting with your mom. I've been so jealous.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, nice to talk to you again, Lisa. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really, really great. I want to know if Harry is still involved in the phone call. Is he listening in?
Yep, Harry is here.
Okay.
And I can put him live.
Okay, great. Okay. So Mike, my mom has Alzheimer's, and I have a blog that's pretty international. And there was a few things that you said that and I commend you for what you're doing, especially since you don't have a family member that has this disease. But I have a real strong belief that we're all in this together, and we all do different things in different ways that contribute to other people. And I actually, from my blog, ended up writing a book because of all the amount of people that have reached out to me and have written me, other caregivers, and have been inspired or touched by what I said, that it could have been part of their own life. And it continues today. So that was just one comment to you, and I know you weren't putting it down, but you were just trying to distinguish what you're different than what other things you might read. And no matter how we support other people that are involved with this disease, it's all real important.
Oh, absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to say, which was with you and with Harry, so I am a long-distance caregiver, and I had the opportunity, or I made it happen, spent a month with my mother in Florida, and went to the nursing home every single day. And it was absolutely amazing. And my husband came with me, who is in healthcare anyway, and he is very comfortable around some of the people that, for me, would not be as comfortable. And what I got to see is that ever since we were there every day, saying hello to people in the wheelchairs that seem like they're not even aware of anything anymore, that walking by and smiling and saying hello to them, what a major difference it made in their lives. It's like they perked up. And after doing this every day, I mean, people are sitting out in the hallways. It was a transformation to me of how they still really are there. I mean, yeah. And even though I knew that, because I have volunteered myself in a nursing home in New York, and experienced that when there was a piano player that came in once a week, and some Alzheimer people that would never ever talk or say anything or respond. When this piano player played, and they would light up and sing along. I also have volunteered at the Alzheimer Association, and it's you know, I don't know how every state works. I mean, this is really probably directed more to Harry about the volunteering, when he wanted to do and asked to join with you in different forces. But if people really do want to do it, they certainly can approach either different nursing homes. I don't think where my mother is, that if I went there, and because I know someone came in with their dogs, you know, I forgot what they call them, when people bring the dogs in. You know, I'm sure that if I spoke to the administrator at the nursing home and said I want to come visit once a week or this, you know, they might have me fill out an application and talk to me, not just to let anyone in there, but it can be done. So that I wanted to address with you and Harry, just share with you the experience that I just had.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I agree with that, Lisa. Sorry, Lori. That smiling and just acknowledging the people is so powerful. And when I'm in some of those communities and I see staff and other professionals, I almost feel like they've kind of become numb to it, and they walk by people, and you know, a simple little acknowledgement goes a long ways. So I just agree with you.
You know, I hear a lot of negative things about nursing homes. I mean, we all do. I mean, my husband just read me an article from the New York Times at the nursing home that I volunteered in New York City, what they were doing and trying to get someone's money. There's a lot of scandals about that. But fortunately for us, my mother is in a nursing home where I will tell you, unless they put it on an act in front of me whenever I go visit, which would be every few months for a few days, and my brother has witnessed it, he lives in the same city as my mom, is that the aides and nurses in this nursing home are unbelievably fabulous. I mean, the place is a really old building. I would never want to be in that place, but on the other side of it, the care is unbelievable, unbelievable. So if anyone is in Florida and Lori reaches out to you and wants the name of the place, I'd be more than glad to highly recommend it in the area of the Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, well, that's great to know, because there's pros and cons with all of it, and I think that's one thing that we have to be careful of is not categorizing everybody in one bag, because individuals have power, and even where my mom was, there were 3 individuals that truly developed a culture that was so gorgeous and so caring, and when they left, it was gone. And I don't think the nursing home actually realized the power those 3 had and the difference that they made. And it took them literally, it was 3 years, and they still didn't, get that culture back. And then Mom had passed. But, it's something so important, that belief system, in terms of what people truly have to offer and how they go about connecting with people. I'm going to pull Harry in here because I have him on mute because he has a squeaky chair there and sometimes makes some noise. So, Harry, do you have any comments at all?
Yeah, that's not my chair squeaking. That's me.
Oh,
that's me moving. That's me moving around in my chair. What I like to bring up is we can do away with the term long-distance caregiving. That's one of the things that we can do right now, and that's through the video chat. Things like that. We can do away with that long-distance caregiving. You no longer have to be a long-distance caregiver. What I want to see is nursing facilities getting Wi-Fi in their facility. Now, once they have Wi-Fi in the facilities, we can have volunteers come in there, and even the shabbiest ones, we can make it pleasant for those residents in there just by volunteering our time, freeing up the staff from doing the mundane things. Let them do the things that they're supposed to be doing. They can do more one-on-one, and let the volunteers come in, just like Candy Stripers did years ago. I use that as an example all the time. I want to see volunteers going in there, and you're going to be surprised how much improvement you're going to see in these nursing facilities. I know they have a bad rap, but there's a reason for that, and the reason is money. It always comes down to money. Well, if you could have a group of people that go in there and volunteer their time, and it's so easy to do. I mean, you can have people in there 24/7. I know people that want to volunteer, want to get involved in it, but they don't know how. They work shift work, so the only time they could do something is at nighttime. Well, you know what? Give me a call. I can set you up someplace where you can volunteer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lisa, any other comments that you have?
Well, I actually know, Harry, from people that write me, there have been a few people that told me that in their nursing home there was a set day and a time for her that, like at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, she could do Skype with her mother. So again, it's everything is individualized one by one. There's not like one set thing. You know, if you even like we all know with the wristband, it's not like because one hospital took it, all the others it ricocheted across. So anything's possible. In my mother's particular case, it wouldn't help because she has macular degeneration and she can't see your face. Like I stopped showing her pictures quite a while ago because she couldn't see a picture. But that it does exist, and again, it's like picked out where and what, you know, and how.
It's amazing how if you take an iPad or a tablet and you do a chat with somebody, I've seen it so often that the residents they touch the screen. I've seen them kiss the screen, and you know you're communicating with that person. You know you're reaching them, and there's no feeling like that. I mean, you can't buy that.
That's very true.
I have to tell you something also. I know you were putting in. You know, Mike. You said in the beginning when I turned on, which was pretty beginning when you started to speak, is like how people like were maybe looking at you cross-eyed. Why were you doing this? Especially if. So, Harry, you said we can get rid of the term long-distance caregiver, and I know it was connected to your Wi-Fi. That's where you were speaking about it. But I will tell you, I never gave myself the title of a long-distance caregiver, but I did have people, a few, thank God, only a few, literally attacked me as a long-distance caregiver saying, what do I know? I only see my mother once every few months. And boy, did that hurt. That stung like. So I never gave myself that, but because I live a distance away, I am a long-distance caregiver. So it's interesting, Mike, like where you said what happened, and here I was, and being accused that I didn't understand. You know, like someone was so angry that maybe they had their parent maybe living with them, or frustrated, or going to a nursing home every day. And you know, unfortunately, I would prefer to be with my mom every day or a few times a week, and it hurts me that I can't see it that way. But I did, Harry, make some fabulous little videos on my iPhone, and I've shared them on my Facebook page, and then I have a bunch of others that I just have in my phone, which really is great for me that I can see her and hear her speak every day.
Yeah, that does make such a huge difference. I still go back and you know, my mom, I can't believe she's going to be gone a year this month, and I still go and watch her videos, and it just brings a smile to my face. You know, that video is so powerful to be able to hear her giggle and see her laugh, and just that time together, very, very precious. So really encourage people to utilize those phones we're all carrying around with us, you know, and take those.
Harry, I have another thing for you to add on to your agenda. I posted a video of my mother in a Merry Walker. Do you know what? I don't know if you know what that is, but I cannot tell you how many people contacted, sending me messages, what is it, where they get it, and unfortunately it's against the law in a lot of these nursing homes. So if it's too much of a liability. And so where my mother has the freedom to walk every single day and not be stuck in a wheelchair, there are many facilities, nursing homes, that can't do this because of liability insurance.
Yeah. What exactly is a Mary Walker?
It's her, it's a tubular. Okay, if you see people walking down the street or in a nursing home or with a walker, but they're not attached to it, so they could walk away from it, but it helps assist them in walking. Except more than a cane, we know what walkers are, right?
Yep.
Okay. So the Mary Walker, and like I said, you could see pictures of it on my Facebook page. It's a white, it could be, I guess, any color, but it's a tubular. It's made out of like the plastic, and it has wheels on it. So my mother can't walk away from it. So it's like closed off. It has a handle in the front, so she can't remember that she can't walk without it, or she could, but they don't want her to. And because then there could be more accidents. So, and it has a seat in it. So if she gets really tired, because my mother walks the halls all day long, if she gets really tired, she can stop and sit on the seat. It is fabulous.
Okay. That would be very nice.
Well, Lisa, I'm sorry.
Lisa, I really appreciate having you call in today. So thank you so much for your comments, and Harry, I appreciate you calling in as well. I want to get back to Mike again and just find out what is next for him in Together in this. Mike, do you have some future plans here that you want to share with people?
Yeah, sure. It's quite interesting. It's neat how, I know people want technology, and I know there's a place for it, and I have some pretty neat ideas in my mind of stuff that I think could really help, and but those ideas are on hold right now. But for Harry there, I was listening, and for Lisa, it got my thoughts going again on some of the engagement ideas I've kind of put on hold. But as far as Togetherness, as we've talked about, since I'm not personally affected, I'm not really. My goal is to continue to build Togetherness into a hub of resources, and I want to do that by reaching out and finding and engaging with other professionals who are experts in their areas, and having Togetherness be a place that a caregiver that's maybe they're new to it, they're in that crisis mode, but they can come to and find these different experts on these different areas of need to help them. So I'm going to continue to build my relationships with professionals towards that goal, and then and while doing that, foster a community of caregivers where they tell me what they need, what they want. I want to build the site to be what everybody wants, not what Mike Good thinks they want. And I'm going to keep working towards that goal. And and eventually, if these caregivers that come to the site and talk with me or meet, engage with me, I'd like to turn Togetherness into more of an educational platform that possibly provides a curriculum that can walk a caregiver through. If they can take the time in the day to learn a little bit each day, would walk them through an educational process to empower them. And that can be through articles or through audio, such as the radio shows, through videos, but making it that one-stop shop for them, hopefully.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I would invite any of our listeners, if you have a comment or a question, please feel free to utilize the chat box and put go ahead and write your comment in. We'll pull that in. Or if you'd like to call in, again, that number is 714-364-4757. Again, that's 714-364-4757. Mike, in the meantime, do you want to tell people how they can contact you?
Oh, sure. If you go to Togetherness, you can get to me through the contact form there. It's togetherness.com. We have a website, we also have a Facebook page that you can find. It's probably best to go through the website because there you can either use that contact form or you can scroll down to the bottom and click on one of our social media icons. And if you're interested, you can also subscribe to our basic newsletter, which a link to that's at the bottom of every page. And there we just every 2 weeks we send out a newsletter that shares our latest articles or our latest status. And I look forward to hearing from people and learning more from you and how I can help you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I appreciate that so much. Harry, I'm just going to see if you have any last-minute comments for Mike.
No, Mike, you're doing a wonderful job. And now I see things through the eyes of somebody living with dementia.
Right.
And it does my heart so. It makes me feel so good that somebody from outside our community is doing for us. It means so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, Harry, and that really helped. That touches me to hear that too, because that's, fortunately, you don't know, but I've been, watching you on Lori's show for the last year maybe, and listening to you and Michael and Dina and everybody talk about your daily life with your challenges. It's been very inspiring to me, and one day I want to get to where I'm actually, maybe I am helping design some technologies that make this easier for both the caregiver and the person with dementia. And so I hope that I can stay in touch and work together and whatever is needed.
Okay, wonderful. Lisa, I'm just going to ask you if you have any questions as well, and then I think what I'll do is roll into Wayne because I know he's got an update. But Lisa, did you have any other comments that you wanted to make on the conversation that we're having here with Mike Good with Together in This?
No, I just thank because I am such a strong advocate that we're all in this together. So no matter what part we play in it. So I thank everyone who's involved and everyone. Lori, you're a major on my top 10 list. So
well, and Lisa,
thank you, Mike. Thanks, Harry. And Lori, I think the world of you.
And Lisa, why don't you give people a little, or give a plug for your book, My Mom, My Hero, and how do people get that, and how do they find your blog as well?
My blog is Mommy Hero at blogspot.com, or if they go on my Facebook page, My Mom, My Hero, it has a link to my blog. My book is available as an audio, a book, and a ebook, all on Amazon.
Okay,
so
wonderful.
It's My Mom, My Hero by Lisa Hirsch.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for participating in the show today. I'm going to go ahead and pull in Wayne Mesker. Wayne, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Very interesting show. I'm glad I got to listen in. Once again, my hired partners at work. Mike, you're doing wonderful things. Harry, you're doing wonderful things on the East Coast. I'm here in the Midwest, so don't leave us out. We could definitely all collaborate together, and the Midwest can definitely use the kind of things that you're doing as well. Quick update, a few things. Rock Against Dementia is going to have multiple events on March 21st. I'm doing one here in the Cleveland area that's going to be live streamed. Norm and his friends are doing some over in the UK, and I don't know if there's going to be any other ones, but it's going to kind of be a trial for a global event in the future that we're hoping to put together. And update number 2, I have a meeting with Senator Sherrod Brown's Deputy Director next Tuesday, possibly at Congressman Renace's office. Congressman Renace is a Republican. Senator Sherrod Brown is a Democrat. And we're hoping to get some bipartisan legislation drafted and proposed regarding dementia and Alzheimer's.
Well, that's very exciting. March 21st, that's coming up here really quick. So.
And the third update is I'll have to put you in touch with him, Mike. Probably I have a legendary musician who is a friend of mine who, unbeknownst to me, his father has suffered from dementia for the past 5 years, and he's been traveling back and forth to the UK to take care of him. And he is very interested in being on board with this whole thing. And he lives in Modesto, so he's right in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, that's very exciting. I look forward to learning more about the events that are lined up. And if you want to get me something, I'd be glad to push that out once you've got things all formulated, how people can access and so forth. I'd be more than glad to push that out on the blog. So
Okay.
appreciate.
Well, I have a Facebook page for Rock Against Dementia here in the U.S. It's Rock Against Dementia on Facebook, and they just started one Rock Against Dementia UK as well. So you can go to either one of those or both of them.
Okay, and it looks like Norms has said Ireland is in it too. So so very cool. Yeah, that's very, very exciting. Great news. Well, I appreciate everybody's involvement here today and sharing their work and their compassion. It just makes such a difference to the rest of the world, when we're able to have these simple conversations. So thank you so much for calling in today, Wayne, and sharing the wonderful work that you're doing. It'll be very fun to see how everything pulls together here. I think music is so powerful, and I think it's going to be significant. It's just been a matter of time before this takes off. So that is absolutely great.
We're all in this together. Maybe that could be the next We Are the World.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? Well, our next radio show will be next Tuesday, and we're going to be having Memory and Company, an Alzheimer's health club on, along with Kelly Sheets and Karen Love with Fit Kits. If you haven't seen our Dementia Chats, which is a webinar that we do twice a month, you can just go to our homepage, alzheimersspeaks.com, and there's a couple of them posted. Otherwise, you can go to our About page and just click on Dementia Chats. You'll find all kinds of videos. Those are free. They're open to public and professional alike. And so anybody can go ahead and participate in those. You can share those. People use them for family meetings. They're using them for staff training, all different types of things. And what's so special about them is our experts are those with dementia. Harry Urban, who joined us today, is one of our experts, along with Michael Ellenbogen, Robert Bowles, and Dina Dotson. And they are just absolutely so generous and fabulous in sharing their insights and thoughts to help us all care better. Our next Dementia Chats will be on the 10th, because, again, we do those on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of each month. So it'll be on the 10th and the I think it's the 24th, if I'm not mistaken, this month. So what else can I tell you? I need to give a shout out to just some great organizations that I don't think people know quite enough of. We've already talked about the Purple Angel Project. Again, you can go to alzheimersspeaks.com to our About page. There you'll get information on the U.S. project, but if you scroll down, you can also get to the global page that is Norms. And is just changing the world. ADI, which is known as Alzheimer's Disease International, is the organization of all the Alzheimer's associations around the world. So if you're looking for support, you can go to that page, find what organization is closest to you. You'll also get global insights and research, and that is absolutely fascinating. If you're in Minnesota, like I am, Health Star Home Health, I highly recommend. I'm so impressed with this company. They are doing amazing work. They have actually trained their staff to be what they call Alzheimer's whisperers, that not only have learned techniques to deal with people with dementia, but they also share them with the families to help them care for their loved one when they're not there. If you're looking for a holistic approach, check out Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. There you'll find things on diet and exercise and meditation. They also have some free educational information there. Many are dealing with specific types of dementia, like Lewy body or frontal temporal lobe. And those each have their own national organizations that can really hook you up with specifics when dealing with those types of dementia. And the national aphasia really has to do more with speech issues, which many times can occur with certain types of dementia. So don't forget about the National Aphasia Association. Tying back into that music note that we were just talking about with Wayne from Rock Against Dementia is Alzheimer's Music Connect. They have fabulous music in several different eras to help people connect and stay engaged. And they have a patent pending technology with their music that is, you can buy it either on a CD or you can download it, that helps people engage up to 3 hours longer after listening to it. So pretty cool stuff. And then people are always looking for kind of gift items and how to engage. Puzzle With Me has designed some great puzzles, bigger pieces, more age appropriate for adults, and fewer pieces, so it's easier to succeed in putting the puzzle together. And then Jiminy Wicket is an adaptive croquet game that can be used as an educational tool or just for fun. Lots of different variables there. So again, I appreciate everybody staying with us. I love when people call in and utilize the chat box. Please tune in next week and every week on Tuesday morning. And again, if you can't join us live, you can listen to these shows. Everyone is archived, and I highly encourage you to like our radio page as well as our AlzheimerSpeaks.com website and our Facebook pages as well. By sharing that information, you are making a difference in terms of just putting information out in front of people so that they can grab it when they are ready. Again, I want to thank Mike Good with Together in this. It was a great conversation we had, and you can reach Mike at mikegood@togetherinthis.com, or you can go to his Facebook page, and again, just type in Together in This. Thank you all, and we will talk next week. Bye now.
Hey everybody, Jared Sebestier, host of Retire Repurposed. This podcast is dedicated to help people transition into fulfilling and purposeful retirements. Retirement is a big life change. In fact, the two most dangerous years of a person's life are the year they were born and the year they retire. Few people can just flip the switch from working a career 30 or 40 plus years, retiring on Friday without methodical steps to living what we call a repurposed retirement. To listen now, search Retire Repurposed on your favorite podcast platform, Senior Resource, or Life Audio.